All right, on today's episode, I have a special guest who is also one of my amazing Black Dress Project clients, and her name is Lisa Johnson. So, welcome, Lisa.
Thank you.
So, the way that Lisa and I got to know each other was virtually, actually, because one of our mutual friends, Jen Yates, she's someone we both adore and admire and work with closely. And she's a dear friend of ours, too. So, Jen was someone who connected Lisa and I because all three of us have common interests in health, wellness, and overall well being. And Jen is someone who educates and builds awareness around the use of essential oils. And Lisa, how, did you know Jen prior to us meeting?
No, no, that's I was online and searching for some help for sleep. And I listened to her sister-in-law Kelly every now and then for makeup and tips and stuff like that. And she kept saying, you got to check out, go see Jen. So I went and saw Jen online. So that's how I met her.
Yeah, and so catchy, her name, her website, Go See
Yeah,
Jen. So
yeah.
it's really easy to remember. And yeah, I mean, Jen is a very helpful and informative person when it comes to being able to address different parts of our health and the use of all natural supplements and oils with doTERRA.
Absolutely. She's helped me a ton with a lot of things. So that's been a great positive role.
Very cool. Well, Lisa, tell me a little bit more about your lifelong interest and your investment in your health at this point in your life so far. So, what have you done prior to us working together in the Black Dress Project?
Well, let's see. I have been on a fitness journey for years, years. Let's see. My son is 31. Wow, 31. I used to teach step aerobics. Do you remember step aerobics? Do you even know what that
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, did you have the outfits with like the headband and the wristbands too?
No, I didn't quite have that, but isn't that crazy? I was an aerobic instructor for a few years, so that was when he was even before he was born, and then after he was, born, I did that for a while. Then I also is Zumba certified. I never did teach, but I did get the Zumba certification, and then I don't know, I think it was just like another tool to have in the toolbox type thing, and I was glad I did it. And I used to go to Zumba classes all the time. That was like my life, but then it changed. But I was Zumba certified to teach, so very interesting. But I was a runner for a while. I used to run 6 miles a day years ago. And then of course, that took a toll on my body, my knees, my
Oh,
back,
absolutely.
my uterus. Um,
And what time frame were you running for before you started to notice some of these aches and pains?
Probably a good year. The thing was, I should have went and had somebody properly, because there is a proper way to run. I mean, evidently. And
Mm-hmm.
I had good shoes. I knew I had really good shoes. I used to run 6 miles a day,
Wow.
every day. I did not take a day off. And that right there was bad. But I got into it and I loved it, and it was my stress release. I was divorced, single mom, raising two kids. So that was like my stress release. I'd come home and my kids knew that, mom's going out for 1 hour. Just give me 1 hour. Then I could come home and then I could deal with everything, being a single parent. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I should have listened to a lot more of the signs, but when younger and running, and it was great, and I was the thinnest I had ever been, and that was all wonderful, but really took a toll on my knees and my back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So your workout routines look completely different now that you've changed it up from running, and you
Yeah.
found something that you really enjoy, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm very, very fortunate. I found a place that is like it's my safe place, and I love it. I've been part of a club here in Madison where I live, and it's a very unique club. But my very first class, I felt at home. I just really, and I love it. With everything happening right now with the COVID-19, we can't go, but I'm doing online classes. There's streaming classes every day, but it was just it's like I found my place. I belong there, and it was such a cool. And I never I've been a member there for over a year now, and I can honestly say that I never felt like I never wanted to go to class.
And you feel when you feel welcomed and you feel like it's a place that you can go to any day, every day, then it's more likely that you're going to stick to it. And you said you've done it for over a year, haven't lost your passion at all, and I know you're loving those workouts. What are
I
some of your
am.
favorite ones?
You know what? I really like the place is called MadPower. And I do like the signature class MadPower, but I really like A&D. It's Armed and Dangerous. It's weights. I'm not afraid to lift weights and heavy weights. So I really do like that class. And the instructors, every instructor there is just absolutely amazing and fun, and they push you and they challenge you and they come up with stuff I'm like, where do you get this? I mean, how do you people come up with this stuff? So,
That's
but
amazing. Well,
but it is.
have you always considered yourself someone who would lift weights? Because I'm sure when you were running, that probably wasn't happening. So what changed your mind?
I think just well, of course, when I had to stop running, I always knew that weightlifting was really important, especially for women. And being in all the other fitness stuff that I've done for years, I knew that it wasn't going to get you big and bulky and everything else, but you know, in I always wanted to burn more fat, and I knew that was probably without the running and the cardio that I was doing, that was probably my next best guess. It was for me thinking,
Oh, yeah.
the weightlifting will be huge, and I kept reading about it and learning about it. And in between, back this up years ago, I was a Beachbody coach. So
Hmm.
P90X girl, Insanity girl. I've done them all.
Yeah, that's
I've done them
awesome.
all. I've done them all.
Tell me how you went about starting Beachbody and what drew you into that.
Well, what drew me into it, I went to a women's expo here in Madison, and I saw this girl standing at a table and just standing there talking to people, and she had the big P90, this is, P90, this is years ago, P90X sign behind her. I'm like, oh, I've seen that. I've seen those commercials. That looks, there's no way. I could never do that, thinking to myself. But then I started chatting with her because anything with nutrition has always been an interest with me,
Hmm.
always. So then she started telling me about Shakeology. And I was telling her some of my issues. I cannot eat red meat. I haven't been able to eat red meat for years. I was actually diagnosed. I can't remember the actual name they call it, but from a scale from 1 to 10 on processing red meat, my body, I process it at a level 1, being the,
Wow.
ultimate worst. Yeah. So I haven't ate red meat. It's my son always laughs because he's, like I said, 31, and he'll say, Mom, when's the last time you had a burger? I'm like, well, you're 31, so it's been like 33 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Did you?
I can't process it. It sits in my gut and rots. It's
Hmm.
just terrible. But so we start talking about Shakeology, and I was like, "Oh, well, that's kind of interesting." She goes, "Let me send you a couple packs." So she took my name and my address, and she sent me a couple packs, and because I was like, I usually have real issues on any of this stuff. I burp it up, and then it sits in
Hmm.
my gut, and she's like, "Well, I can promise you this won't." And I had great results with it. I loved it, and I had great results, and I thought, "Well, I can do these workouts." So I started with Turbo Fire and because that was more up my alley, the aerobic and
Hmm.
everything. And then I did I don't remember the order of it, but then my husband, at that time he was my boyfriend, really got into it with me, and we did P90X together, and that was very interesting. But
Why was it interesting?
well, first of all, I had never ate so much food in my entire life.
Hmm.
It's a huge meal program with it. We did the entire thing. I mean, we did all of the food. I mean, we did the entire book. I mean, we made every one of those meals. And let me tell you, it was
It's a lot of work.
it was a lot of work. It was, you know what, but we did it together and it was
Hmm.
fun. And best shape we ever had been in, probably besides me running. It was interesting. You learn a lot from somebody, making all these food. He was up in a higher bracket than I was, and he would just look at me and say, "Are you kidding me? I've got to eat all that." I'm like, "Well, it says we're supposed to eat all this." But yeah, so that was interesting. And then we moved on from that. We did Insanity. So,
I did Insanity as well, right around the time that I was running long distances for half marathons. On days that it was, maybe a shorter run, I would substitute it with Insanity. And that was way harder than just going on a run.
oh yeah. Yeah,
All
that
the
was brutal.
plyometrics and the
That was
jumping and
brutal. Yeah, brutal.
for sure. But
It was
in a way,
brutal.
it built up this determination in yourself as kind of like reigniting this competitiveness within you because you want to just keep pushing and pushing until I don't know. It's
Yep.
really, and maybe it's also with running too. It's just kind of like, let's see how far we can get without giving out.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely it was. I was not competitive in school or anything like that. I was more of, I did pom-poms and I was a swimmer, big time. I love swimming and but yeah, no, I liked it. So I mean, I did like all the programs. I mean, I did Body Beast. I did them all.
Nice.
21 Day Fix. I think I did that like 3 times and that's probably where I learned the most about nutrition. So, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like both you and your husband were into the investment of your health and your fitness together at that point. And right now, maybe that's shifted a little, and you've really taken the time since we've gotten to know each other to invest in yourself and your health and your well being. So, why is it so important to you?
For investing in myself, oh, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I always say, don't ever put a price tag on your health. My health is what I mean, I want to be around for my kids, my grandkids. I have 3 beautiful, beautiful grandkids. I need to be here for my husband, and just for me. I mean, I would never. I used to always think when I first started running, because like I said, I was a single mom, divorced, and I thought, oh, I shouldn't really be taking this hour for me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'll be such a better mom. I'll be such a better mom after I take this 1 hour for me after a stressful day at work, and then I can deal with things so much better. So it was a win-win for all of us.
That's a really good point, Lisa. There's a lot of mom guilt that comes around for, when women start to have kids and even grandkids that they're not putting their all if they take a little bit of time for themselves. So, was there a point in your life where it kind of turned the light bulb on of like, I need to put myself first in order to be able to be a better mom or a better partner? Was it something that switched in your head?
Yeah, it's called divorce. Yeah, yeah. When I went through my divorce with Ethan and Morgan's dad, it was a hard time, and I didn't even, I was such a different person then, and I finally said, this isn't me. I've got to find me again because I'm in here somewhere. So, and as being a single mom and working all these hours, and then I was like, I felt, I was shamed by taking time for me. You don't do that. You have kids, you have laundry, you have this, you have this, you have this. Well, you know what? I need me first, and I need to take care of me. And there, you know what? And I, made the decision I did, and I thought, this, I'll be such a better person, such a better mom, be able to tolerate things, and I'm so glad I finally had enough and took the time for me.
That's amazing.
Yep.
It's tough to pull yourself out of those dark places in your life when things seem really heavy, and it's
Yeah.
easy to kind of like shrivel it up and sweep it under the rug, but the root will always be there. So you seem to have addressed the root of giving yourself love and attention first so that
Yep.
you can, make that overflow for others.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I did, and I'm so glad I did because I still, I saw so many friends of mine that just couldn't do it and just lived in that. They wanted to do things, but of course, they weren't allowed, or they couldn't, or they, couldn't justify taking, an hour for themselves. And it's just so sad because you really do need it.
Right. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that most women face within society is really just being able to take that bold action sometimes, even if it's against a popular opinion or maybe it seems like you're letting someone down.
Hmm.
But when you start to realize the benefits that it has to really take care of your body, take care of your mind and your emotions, it makes everything else easier.
It does. It does, and it puts you in the right frame of mind, and that's exactly what you need. I knew that I would be such a better mom after that 1 hour run. And no, I wasn't a great runner. I wasn't a fast runner, but I didn't care. That was my 1 hour. I'd put my headphones on, my music, and it was my space, and it was my time. And I come home, and I was like, every problem from work, everything was just totally gone. It was like, okay, now I can be the mom the kids need, and it really worked well for me. And I was so glad I was able to do it. It took a little time. It didn't happen. It didn't click overnight. It took a little
Mm-hmm.
time, but I was glad I was able to do it. And to this day, I never, even with my situation with Ron, I always take care of me first. I have to.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that as far as being a caretaker for this is your husband,
Yep.
Ron.
Yep.
And so tell us a little bit about that and how putting yourself first has made that a little bit easier or just a little bit more accepting for you.
Yeah, you know what? We've been together, it'll be married 10 years in July, but
Wow.
yeah, but we've been together for 20 in December. So we have five kids, no kids together. We raised our kids completely separately because we knew we were, together older, and we just knew it wouldn't work if we tried to raise kids together. About 5 years ago, he started having complications, and long story short, he ended up having a tumor growing behind his left eye, and it was cancer, and he lost his left eye. It'll be 4 years in August. And we've never been able to get like a clean slate. So the cancer keeps coming back on the left side of his face. And so, I mean, we've been through 11 surgeries in 4 years. And, it's, between chemo and radiation, the recovery of all the surgeries. And then now we just, yesterday was his first day he started immunology. So we're hoping that that will have some success. So, but I'm very lucky. He's a very good patient. He stays very positive, which is a huge help. But he always reminds me, like this morning, he's doing great. He actually went out on a 5 mile walk today. I'm so proud of him.
Good.
Yeah, but like this morning, he's like, okay, so what's on your schedule? And he knows, he goes, okay, so what workouts are you doing? What time? He knows
No,
that's my outlet. That's my, and I need it. I need to stay healthy, because I mean, it's not like I, have to tend to him. He's in bed. Like I said, he walked 5 miles today. He feels good today. It's just when we go through, the surgeries and all the recovery, I have to be there. And I need to be strong. I mean, there are times I've had to help him and lift him, and mentally, physically, I need to be a strong person. So,
definitely. And
yeah.
there's always something to be said about when you apply yourself to intense or difficult or challenging exercise, just like your runs or just like your new classes where you're lifting weights and you're really pushing yourself, that sense of achievement and accomplishment is just gives you so much life and it allows you to stay positive. It allows you to say that you can fight through things and be that strong person, both physically and mentally, like you said,
Hmm.
for yourself and for Ron.
Yeah, some days I think, some days I need to physically be more, to be stronger, and other days I need it mentally. So I try to find that balance. It's so funny. I think one of the main reasons why I love like A&D, and it's because Jessie's the instructor and she's a complete badass. She's so amazing. But I think I put on some of that music and I just hammer out those weights. I
Yeah, it's a vibe. It's an energy that you just pick up, especially in the group setting. And I really believe that your instructor's energy also feeds off of everyone else. So
yeah.
I could imagine that it's just very uplifting, very like, energetic. And if your day is mostly calm or laid back or sitting at a
Yeah.
desk, then that's what you need.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I kind of put up that music and I turn it on loud. And and I just go. Oh, it's kind of funny, but you know what? Some days, you just like the kickboxing classes. I really have been enjoying those, probably because just so much of my frustration with all of this, being home, not being able to see my kids, not being able to see my grandkids and hold them and hug them and kiss them, and I think just that frustration is probably what I like. I throw some really good punches.
I bet. Well, and we also hold on to this in our body. Like we were chatting with Amy Izette for that month about stress and what our body holds on to, and it's interesting how we just get so tense or tight
Yeah.
when we are feeling emotions that we're holding on to, and just like, ooh, just let it go through some punches.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the other day we did a kickboxing. It's called Wombat and it's like, oh God, it came at the perfect time and I needed it so bad. And I was like, oh, I'm ready. Just bring it. So, yeah. So, but you know what? He's doing good and I'm very very thankful that he's remains positive. It's not always positive, but for the most part it is, and I'm so thankful for that. So,
Amazing.
yeah.
Good, good. I mean, that's so glad to hear. It really is a game changer as far as where your mindset is and in whatever it is that you're applying to, because your mindset just is the basis of how your body reacts. Your nervous system is connected to your brain, of course, and so
Mhm.
emotions are tied to the way that our body reacts as well.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So you have been working out for quite some time, and you said that you mentioned you've been looking at your nutrition since the days of P90X and
Yeah.
the 21 day fix. But it was a little bit of a different world when we crossed paths, and you took a brief online nutrition course with me and then jumped into our 5 day Fit for Life challenge, which was right before the new year.
Yep.
So, what was your thought process when you were like, okay, I'm going to try something different with my nutrition this time around?
I wasn't seeing results that I wanted to see, when somebody works as hard as I do and eats incredibly healthy. I mean, I really do eat healthy. Of
Hmm.
course, have the few, snacks here and there and a cocktail here and there, but I just wasn't seeing any results and it was so, so frustrating. I thought, why not? I mean, there's more. I mean, nutrition has always been very interesting to me because I love to cook. So nutrition's always been very interesting to me. So I thought this is a perfect opportunity. Why not? So,
Cool. What was it like when you were eating back in the fall compared to how you might see food differently now?
what was the compare in the fall? I think I was eating kind of like I had always ate. I thought pretty healthy and I thought, enough food. I I just really thought that I was, eating all the right things and the right mix of things. That's what I was thinking.
Until you realized, and I had discussed with you, that we actually need to eat a lot more.
Yeah, I kind of figured that because that, I remember, filling containers and eating all that stuff. I'm like, God, that's a lot of food. But yeah, I definitely figured out that I needed to eat more for sure. And you of course helped me see that. So,
Well, I mean, you're very active. Sometimes you do 2 workouts a day, several days
mhm.
a week.
Yep.
And I know even now with staying at home and sheltering in place, you're still working out quite a bit.
Oh,
You love
two
it.
two a day. Yeah, two a day. I really try to get in two a day. So,
Definitely. Did you know that this was like the quote unquote right time to really do a deep dive into your nutrition? So something that stuck out to me when we were chatting was that when we first kind of crossed paths was that you seem to have always eaten healthy, like you mentioned, but you're just not seeing changes to your body anymore. So how did you know to kind of go and course correct or steer to a different path?
I just figured there was something I was missing. Something was wrong because you can't work out as hard as I was working out and eating as healthy as I was eating and not see changes. So I knew there was
Mm-hmm.
something. What was I missing and I needed help.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, great. And then this was right after a vacation, right before starting the Black Dress Project.
Yeah.
You guys got, where did you guys travel to right
We
before
went
that?
to Puerto Vallarta for a week to go see our friends. So
Seems so long ago at this point, doesn't
I
it?
know, isn't that awful? Now with yeah, yeah. But we had a great time. But I was really looking forward to going and seeing them, and then coming back. And I was so gung ho. I was ready to dive into this little black dress program. I mean, I was mentally so on board and so ready.
Oh, yeah, I know definitely you committed. You said, I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm ready to do this today. And right that day, you started meal prepping and started getting things ready, logging things into your MyFitnessPal.
Yep.
You were not you were not joking around. You were
No.
ready right to it.
No. When I say I'm ready, and I mean that's I was just so frustrated, because I had done so much and eating, like I said, you can't eat as healthy as I eat and work out like I work out. And I mean, and I forgot to mention all my workouts are in heat. Like
Hmm.
90 anywhere from 89 to 97 degrees, all of them.
Wow.
So you take that cardio and lifting weights. So so I mean, yeah. So I was ready. I was mentally I was so ready to figure out what is going on. So
I know, I could tell. Was this the first time that you have ever counted your calories or tracked your macronutrients?
no, I've used my Fitness Pal before, but not to the extent of like the macros and stuff. I would put things in there and kind of see where I'm at, and that type of thing. And like I said, I did the 21-day fix and I'd use a container. So I kind of had a good idea of kind of where I should be and everything, but not to the extent that, you know, that, my Fitness Pal and what you have taught me and using the macros. That was
Yeah.
eye-opening. Yeah.
Having a little bit more balance and higher protein, it seems like were some adjustments for you. And even higher carbs, I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a point for you, for us, it's been a little bit more than 12 weeks now. I think we're going into like week 14 or 15
I think
together.
I think hang on, I have it on my calendar. I think we just completed week. Let's see, today we are starting week on Monday will be week 15.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, the
Yeah,
time is flying by.
I
What
know.
point did you really start to see some changes either within your body or even yourself?
Um, I think when I started seeing, like physically seeing things, probably was like week 6 to 8. And taking the pictures is my least favorite thing to do every Sunday. I mean, as soon as I get up, I put on my same little sports bra and my shorts, and my husband's usually in his office, looking at computer, finance stuff, whatever. I'm like, okay, let's just get this over with, and he just laughs. And I do my 3 pictures and I get them posted. I think when I finally look back one day, at because I took my pictures like on January 9th, even though we didn't start till like the 20th. I mean, I was ready. I took my pictures and, got them in there. Because then I left and went on vacation, I think. And then
Hmm.
I came back and that's when we started on the 20th. I have to go back and I look at those, but I think it was around like week 6, 7, for sure by 8. But I started feeling better probably within like 3 weeks, maybe a
Hmm.
month. I started feeling better, more energy, not so, just, I think more energy.
Absolutely. I mean, it must have been for some time that you were pretty low on calorie intake for the amount of energy that you were expending out in your workouts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, of course it had to be because I was feeling, I mean, I knew within like 3 to 4 weeks that, especially because you put me on a higher calorie, I'm like, yeah, I definitely was not eating enough.
Was it difficult to get up to that calorie count at first,
Oh,
being so
yes.
high?
Oh, yeah, that was really tough. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have to eat the I have how many more carbs do I have to eat and how many more, yeah. It was interesting, but I did it. I remember texting you saying, "Okay, I have like 75 carbs I still have to eat and it's 9 o'clock at night. I don't want anything." I remember having like strawberries or something. I mean, yeah.
And it still probably wasn't enough. And it was just one of those days we had to call it a wash and be like, all right, restart again tomorrow, and it's
You know what?
okay.
And that's what you do, and that's the best part. You take day by day. So,
Yeah, we were just talking about that as far as applying self discipline versus self compassion. And, most of the times when we're committed to something, it's mostly the self discipline. But you can't expect to pick something up and learn it in the first week or two.
no.
It definitely takes some time. Like, even you with prior knowledge, it still takes some experimentation and the kind of like, back and forth between your coach and, tracking all the data, which seems really tedious, I know, in the beginning, but it's a helpful part of the process to see not only your scale weight, but your tape measurements
Oh
and your
yeah.
pictures.
Yeah,
The
totally
measurements
is.
were huge for you, the change in measurements.
Yeah, those my husband of course being the Excel wizard he is, and I'm so lucky. He's so supportive. So supportive. He made me this Excel file, and it starts with day one, and and he does all my measurements for me, and then every 2 weeks, and it keeps a running calculation of like the very first time we started doing measurements. I mean, like that first week, which is so common, I lost like 6.5 inches, like boom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I lost like 2.76. And then I kind of, tapered off a little bit and then boom, another 5, 2 weeks later. So, and I think that's when I did like my first cut.
Yes,
So,
yes, we did change it up.
yep, yep.
Yeah, your
So,
body had to stabilize first at the new higher intake level. And
yep,
then it's now that it was getting fed. And I think it was like it was like week 4 or 5, but it was a matter of that just switch because you were hitting your numbers, you're consistent. And then we just switched it up to do a cut. And then your body did what it needed to do.
it
Started
did.
changing some more.
Yep, yeah, it did. It totally did. And so, now we're back into maintenance and, getting it to stabilize again before I'm ready. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're totally. I mean, you've been crushing it. Your consistency and your dedication to the program, but also just to your overall health and yourself. Like when you said it, when you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it, and you
hmm
haven't let down. You've been able to find balance within your life to still be able to enjoy some of the things that you like to have, like a
Yep,
cocktail here or there,
yep.
some occasional treats, but it's never slowed your progress. You've never reversed it in any way.
No,
If
no, I'm
anything,
not.
you've grown from it more than anything.
Yeah, totally. No, yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not, I always say, don't look that way. You're not going that way. So,
Right. Looking
yeah,
ahead.
looking ahead. Yep.
And so, a part of this program, obviously, it's called the Black Dress Project. So, for you, Lisa, what does it mean to rock your black dress?
Boy, that was interesting. I always wanted to. I bought that dress years ago. It was just a little sun dress I bought actually in Cancun, like, I don't, serious, and I still have it. Yeah, 40 years ago. And I haven't been able to wear that thing for years, but I always said I'm going to get back into that dress. I'm going to wear that dress again because it was just a cute, fun little dress. I thought, I'm going to wear it. I thought, okay, this is my time. This is it. I'm getting into that dress.
It's so cute. And now you're rocking it.
I can wear it. Yes, I can actually. And he zips it right up and there's no issues. And yeah, I was really, really, I can see the difference and I'm just so glad. I think I was really proud to be able to put on that dress because it's something, I've worked so hard for and I did it.
Absolutely. And if the dress or whatever it is that makes you feel good or makes you feel your best, then why not be able to rock it, right? So
Right.
it's just really like a reflection of the work that you've been putting in and the
Hmm.
confidence that you've grown within yourself.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's why it was so important to me is I really wanted to do it and I wasn't going to give up until I got there and I did it. It was like I think it was like one of my first goals to be able to wear that because we were supposed to be on vacation in April, of course. But we didn't get to go. So I put it on that night we were supposed to be leaving on April 18th, I remember, and that was my first goal is I wanted when we started in January, I wanted to be able to put on that dress and feel comfortable in it on the 18th of April, and that was my really first goal, and I did it. So
Yes, it's so powerful when you say what your goal is out loud or even write it down or just tell someone who's going to hold you to it.
you know what? And that's exactly what I told my husband. I said, I'm wearing this on vacation. He just kind of looked at me when I first put it on in January. He goes, okay. I said, yeah, I'm wearing it. And he looked at me and he takes these pictures and he's like, you know what? Yeah, wow, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one.
Oh,
And I
love
get,
it.
yeah, and I got to keep going back. You know what I do whenever I get those pictures taken on Sunday? I always go back to that very first picture on January 9th and I just look at myself. And then I scroll right ahead to the pictures I just took that day. I'm like, oh, yeah,
There's that difference. There's that work you've been putting in
yeah,
and that
and that's what I do.
consistency that's
And
paying off.
because I was feeling a little bummed. I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I know I'm changing, And at that point, the inches were just, like, not changing much, which is so typical. But then you sent me those January 9th pictures to like that week picture. I'm like, oh, and I needed to see it side by side.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And just imagine it's been almost what 4 months now, and
Mm-hmm.
if we're going to be continuing to work together, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited that you
So am I.
that we are able to make that happen. But just imagine the you know success that you're going to feel at that time next year, January of next year,
Oh
after
yeah.
years worth of
Yeah.
investing in yourself and eating to fuel yourself, working out hard,
Yes.
and you do things that you enjoy. Like it's not like you're dragging your feet to do this stuff. Like
Oh
you're
yeah.
you're someone who's like you love to cook, you love to exercise, you're upbeat, and that's what you need to be able
Yeah.
to really become something that you want to be. That's not where you're at currently. If you just stay the same, nothing's going to change.
Nothing's gonna change. You have to make changes to see a change, period. I
Hmm.
mean, that's just the way it is. And I'm happy that I'm had the right mindset. I was ready. I was so ready.
I know. I know. I'm so happy
Yeah.
we crossed paths, Lisa. This has been
Oh,
an
I'm
amazing journey so
and I'm
far.
so thrilled. I was really down when I thought, we were gonna have to be done and then I talked to my husband. He's like, you know what? No, you can't be. I'm like, I don't want to be. I don't want to.
That's
And
awesome.
he was like, we'll make this work. We're doing this. So, which was great.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Well, so we've known each other for about 15 weeks, and I feel like you've become just such this dear like friend of mine, but also my client and someone I would love to hang out with. We were supposed to hang out, me, you, and
I
Jen,
know.
at the end of March, but then with everything going on with the
Yeah.
pandemic, that didn't play out, but it's still within my vision to get together sometime
Oh,
soon
we
and
will.
do some little cooking. And Lisa, you can show me how to bake. I'm not a baker.
Oh, I would. You know what? You know what? This is my dream job. You're gonna laugh. I've always said this, and my girlfriends are like, "Why are you waiting? Just do it now." Since I do love to cook, and yes, I love to food prep. Go ahead. I know I'm crazy, but it's my thing, and I would love to have clients that I would go to their home. I don't want to do it in my home. Go to their home, and then, maybe they want like, breakfast and lunch meal
Hmm.
prep for them, or lunches and dinner, or good healthy snacks. And I would love to prepare those meals and have them all there because I have bento boxes.
That's so cool.
I mean, see, that would be my dream job is to do something like that, and to cook healthy, good meals. And but I'm not a nutritionist. I know quite a bit of things, and I read books, and I love healthy. I'm always trying to make. It's so funny. I'll make like chickpea brownies, and I
Oh my gosh, that sounds really good.
I don't tell my husband.
The secret's out.
And then he'll eat them. He's like, "Oh wow, these are." He goes, "Boy, what's in them? It's different." And he looks at me, and goes, "Don't tell me."
Did he guess?
No, he'll be like, "Just don't tell me." And all of a sudden, he'll look in the garbage and he'll see like, or the recycle. He'll see like cans of chicken. He goes, "No," and I'll be like, "Maybe."
Uh-huh.
And
Gotcha.
he's like, "Just don't tell me. Just you know what? Just let me believe it's." I'm like, "Well, that has coconut sugar. It doesn't have brown sugar." He's like, "Just don't tell me."
That's
And
amazing that you're
yeah,
able to incorporate the health foods into something that's still a treat, especially for you and your husband, because I know food is something that you share, with each other, and it's a part of your life.
yeah. I promised his doctor years ago, when all this was going on, he said, just keep him as healthy as you can. And I said, I
Hmm.
will, I promise. So that's what I do. And I made that promise, and I made it to myself, and I made it to Ron that, and he's got a sweet tooth, and but he certainly likes his. I know today we're gonna go down and see our grandkids. We're gonna sit on the driveway, and already he said we're gonna stop at Culver's, right, so we can bring down ice cream. I'm like, you know what, whatever. Just I'm not gonna argue with him for this one after what he went through
Yeah.
yesterday.
Hmm.
Once in a while, but I made that promise, and it's important to me. I really try to keep him, especially with his immune system now that will be majorly jeopardized, and I
Right.
really try to keep his immune system with oils, and I mean everything, and all the food. I really try to keep us as healthy as possible, and I can't even tell you the last time I was ever even sick.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
think that's really a great message to share, that this is a holistic approach to it. It's not just, exercise. It's not just supplements. It's all the pieces in the puzzle.
Yep.
And it's amazing that as you continue to stretch yourself and learn more about yourself, you're always sharing that, with the knowledge or the food itself,
Yeah.
with your loved ones. And that's really important as far as impact and what we can do within our families. And then that just kind of spreads out.
Yeah. You know what? I'm Italian. I have my mother's full-blooded Italian, and you know what? We eat. And we cook and we eat.
Oh,
So,
yes. I think that's many cultures, but especially the cultures that are just so family oriented.
yeah.
And so I'm guessing that, Italian families they're known for being big, they're known for being
Yep.
getting together.
Yep.
Filipinos are the same way, and it's food at every gathering. It's what makes the
Yes.
gathering.
Yeah, totally. And I just try to bring, I always bring something healthy, and they just kind of look at me. I'm like, they'll say, "We're not even going to ask you what's in it." I'm like, "Well, that's probably that's probably just as well."
And then you're like, well, there's more for me then.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, anything to do with nutrition would be right up my alley, and I think that's why I'm so passionate about it. Is I really love trying different things, especially with the cooking. So
Well, we'll definitely have to have a little cooking get together when we can
total.
get together again.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I
Can't
that
wait.
that would be, and we will this summer. Hopefully, maybe later this summer.
I'd like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, to wrap things up, Lisa, I
Yep.
have one more question, and it's really just thinking back to, when you were 18 years old, if you could see that girl version of yourself again, this young woman version of yourself again, what would you tell her and why?
Ooh, wow, that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. Um, let's see. You know what? Follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. If things come up that that postpone them or whatever, you get pregnant, have kids, whatever, don't give up though. Find a way back. Follow your dreams. Be
I love
kind.
that.
Be kind to your body.
Hmm.
Nutrition is so, so important in everything that we've learned, and with it all starts within your gut. So
Hmm.
be good to your body. Maybe not.
Oh man.
Maybe don't be so, so naughty. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I would say follow your dreams. Like I said, I always wanted to do something with nutrition, something like that. Yeah, I wish I would have followed my dreams.
Oh, girl, it's never too late. Melanie was
I,
already sharing that you should make an ebook. I
I,
think it would be a great hit.
I know that's so funny. Oh
That would be
man,
awesome.
yeah,
You
that
already
would.
have a ton of your recipes. You would just
Oh,
need
I'd love to. Yeah,
someone to put it
loved.
together for you. That would be great.
Yeah, that would be
It would
really
be a dream come
fun.
true. You don't even have to go into people's houses. Your book will be in people's houses.
Yeah, yeah. I get that satisfaction of the cooking though, and
For
making
sure.
people. I think that's where the Italian part comes out. But I get that satisfaction of making something, really yummy, and it's really healthy for you, and and the same, because everyone always thinks that nutrition, cooking is, oh, ick, and it's so
Mm.
not. It's not.
No.
No.
I know. I mean, every recipe that you share looks absolutely amazing. And I'm obsessed with the ground turkey
Oh, those
jalapeno burgers that you
aren't those
make. They're so
amazing?
good. And they're so easy to make. Like, you
Yeah.
don't, oftentimes when you share your recipes, they're not these crazy concoctions that need
No.
a ton of different ingredients. It's just
No,
simple, it's
those are
delicious.
super good. Yeah, actually I've got those going to be going on the grill next week. I already have that on my menu. So,
Yum.
yeah. Well, I hope if this has helped one person,
Yeah, that I mean,
anything. This
this was
is
awesome. I love sharing the stories that people have, and just kind of getting insight into their life, because a lot of times we just know sometimes parts of people, and then when we get
right,
to know them and share their stories, there's a lot
right.
that we can relate to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it
Well,
continues. We're going to continue this journey together through early next year, and we'll
yes.
see how it goes.
Oh, I can't
I'm
wait.
excited.
So am I. I'm very excited, Cheryl. I can't thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so
Oh, I
much.
think you too, Lisa. And maybe at the end of this, you'll have an ebook at that point.
You just never know.
I'll definitely promote it.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. Yep. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.